What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. While speaking at the border in Arizona today, President Trump was asked about the manhunt and potential assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life while visiting the Arizona border. Donald Trump replies, and he says that he had no idea that this was going on. We're going to jump into this video, but before we do, shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below and smash the like button.
About that, they probably want to keep it from me. Thank you for telling me. Let's get out of here right now. No, thank you very much for saying, but no, and I have great respect for Secret Service, the job they do, including a month and a half ago when they were jumping on top of me with bullets flying right at them. So mistakes were made, and they're going to learn from the mistakes, but I have great respect. But no, I haven't heard that, but I'm not that surprised. And the reason is because I want to do things that are very bad for the bad guys. So I have heard it's very unsafe to make this trip. There were some people that really didn't want me to make it. Yeah, please.
Donald Trump risking his life a couple days in a row. So this is the article. Arizona man sought as investigation leads for threats to kill president candidate. This is 66-year-old man, Ronald Lee Syrvud, is being sought after an investigation lead for threats to kill presidential candidate. So this is a manhunt that is going on now. We're going to jump into this video.
The former president, Paul Moro, is standing by, but first to senior correspondent Alicia Acuna, who is on the scene there in Arizona, where the Trump motorcade has just arrived. Alicia.
Hi, Martha. Yes, as you mentioned, the Trump motorcade has just arrived. It drove past us here to my left just a few moments ago. And if we push back, I don't know if, Keith, you're able to push back just a little bit, you can see the president's motorcade is back toward behind those other people. He's scheduled here to highlight the border crisis, speak on immigration and security, which is one of his strengths, according to so many of the polls out there when you compare it to Kamala Harris. However, the headline now today is coming out of Cochise County in that the sheriff here has confirmed that there is a manhunt underway for a man, 66-year-old Ronald Syrvud, for threatening to kill former President Trump. Fox News Digital reporting that the intended target was Trump, and the intended day was in fact today. Significant, Martha, for so many reasons, as you know, in terms of security. We do know since the attempted assassination attempt on former President Trump on July 13th, there are a lot of security measures that have tightened and broadened, including bringing up that bulletproof glass in front of him for rallies. We don't see that here. We're here. This is just the process, a very tightly secured area where we are. But when you start to think about the search for the suspect, it's a manhunt. And where we are, we're in the middle of the desert. You're looking at this border wall right here, right? But all around us, there is hardly any cell service. We have satellite trucks here so that we can communicate with you in Chicago, with folks in New York and in DC. It feels like you're in the middle of nowhere, which makes it all the more frightening when you consider that as of right now, law enforcement say they do not know where this man is. Martha?
Yeah, that's disturbing.
That is disturbing. We're going to jump in. So hopefully they catch this guy. Hopefully they catch this guy before we jump into the next segment. But I hope that they catch this guy, and they got to tighten up the security there. They got, they didn't let Trump know. It's apparent that they didn't let him know what was going on. But I think it's still some faulties. There's some stuff that's come up recently with the Secret Service lady abandoning her post to milk her breasts or breastfeed her baby, and the other one shit her pants. We got to get it tight. We got to work on this. Donald Trump pulled up in some fashion. I got to mute the audio on this, but this is how Donald Trump rolled up on the border. Yeah. So as you can see on the on the left of that, this is the completed wall, and this is the remaining material. I gotta mute it. Sorry. We're gonna jump into some key highlights from the rally. This one stood out to me. This is something particularly criticizing Kamala Harris about her open border policy and how we need to quickly close the border because people are just pouring in.
Sure. Ready? The bipartisan, and it wasn't bipartisan. They had a couple of people on the other side. It was weak. It was ineffective. And it would have allowed, as you know, millions and millions of people to pour through and largely unvetted. It was a horrible bill. It was a weak bill. And they don't need a bill. All Biden had to do is look to the border and say, close the border. He didn't need a bill. He knows that. They didn't want a bill. The bill was terrible. If it was good, I would have approved it. The House passed a bill before that. I'd approve that bill right now. That was a real bill. But this bill was a weak bill, and it was a shame that they got a Republican. They got somebody who's a very good person, by the way, but they got him to lead it. But it didn't make any difference. If they wanted to close the border, which they don't. They'll have 100 million people come in and totally destroy, ruin our country. If they wanted to close the border, I didn't have a bill. I said, close the border. I said, Brandon, close that border, Brandon. And what happened? He closed the border. They all did. Paul, the whole group of them. This group is incredible. They closed the border. I looked at him. I said, we don't have a bill. We don't need a bill. Close the damn border. They closed the border. They could do the same thing.
Trump goes on to talk about the sentences for illegal alien crimes. Let's jump into that right now.
New sentences on illegal alien criminals. These include 10-year mandatory minimum sentence for anyone guilty of human smuggling, a guaranteed life sentence for anyone guilty of child trafficking, and a death penalty for anyone guilty of child or woman sex trafficking. We'll also impose the death penalty on major drug dealers and traffickers in other countries on their immigration papers. There's a statement that says death for drug traffickers. Big letters, big bold letters, 10 times the size of everything else on the page. I saw it this morning. And those are the countries where they have no problem with drugs. Many of them, actually. We will also impose the death penalty for anyone killing our police, sheriffs, border patrol, ICE, or law enforcement officials. The death penalty with a quicker trial, not a trial that lasts for 15 years and everybody gets exhausted. We will liberate our country from the illegal alien drug dealers, robbers, murderers, gang members, and child predators. And we will make America safe again for our citizens and make it greater, stronger, better, more beautiful than ever before. And I want to thank you all, and especially our 4 very special people.
This was a touching moment. Donald Trump had brought up one of the parents. He had brought up a few folks. So he had brought up a parent, a sister, and an actual victim of migrant crimes, violent migrant crimes. And this was a pretty heartfelt, touching moment when he brought this individual up.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care of yourself. Absolutely. We don't want it to happen to other people. That's all.
No.
Big thanks.
Yeah. Hi. I was just thanking President Trump for the invitation to come and to share Rachel's story. Rachel was 37 years old. She had 5 children. She worked. She owned a small business. She worked very hard to support her family. And the trail that Rachel ran daily was a trail that we as a family would walk over the last 25 years that we've lived in Maryland. It's a very safe, small trail, very public, very open. Moms with baby carriages go down this trail. It's very safe. I was in Kentucky. We had a grandbaby that had passed away. When I got a phone call from my son, and he said, "Mom, there's somebody here that would like to speak to you." And when I said hello, the person on the other end said, "Hello, Mrs. Morin. This is Detective so-and-so. I'm the lead detective on this case. There's no easy way to tell you this, but we found your daughter's body. And if they find the body, you know that she's dead. They wouldn't say, 'We found Rachel. She's alive.'" And so they found my daughter's body. And when they found it, it just recently has come out that she was brutally beaten, raped, and then stuffed into a drain pipe. We're 18,000 miles, 1,800 miles from the border. And because of this open border, we've had not just my daughter, but we've actually had two in the same county that we're from, where illegal immigrants have come in and have caused rape and murder of our citizens. And the reason why I came here today and I accepted the invitation is because I really want our words to be heard. And I really want you to take to heart what we're saying. We're not here for a political stand, although we are. We're here because we're losing our moms, our daughters, our children to criminals. And that shouldn't happen. We should be taking care of our country, our people. And the only way I believe that's going to happen is if President Trump is reelected as president, and we close up this border and we put policies back into place that were there before, instead of this open border thing. We're going to end up being a third world country if it continues this way. And I truly hope that you would just take my words to heart, because it's devastating to lose a child, but even more devastating when you see the pictures or you see the body and you really understand what's happened to that person. So please take to heart, this is a very, very important issue. And it's one that's either going to make or break our country. It's not so much, it's about America. It's about Americans. It's about us taking and protecting ourselves and looking out for each other. It's about protecting our families. So thank you.
Thank you. So beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh man, that got me. That got me. That's the second time I watched it, and that got me. Whoo, man. It's sad. There were some other speeches on there. This one got me. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts on that. Drop your comments down below. Let me know. That's sad. And this is happening. This is happening not only here. We're talking about New York. We're talking about Chicago. We're talking about places that aren't so close, where they're taking these individuals and then shipping them out to these sanctuary cities. And that's where some of the crime, that's where a lot of the crime along with the border is happening. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this. Drop your comments down below. Then we're going to finish this up. Trump talks about Kamala Harris has called for the abolish of ICE and closing every ICE detention center and facility.
Kamala has called for the abolishing of ICE, the closing of every ICE detention facility, and the releasing of some of the most vicious criminals anywhere in the world by doing so. She supports free health care for illegal immigrants and has promised to give illegals mass amnesty and citizenship, which will obliterate Social Security. Oh, Social Security is going to be obliterated by all of these millions of people that she wants to put on. And also Medicare will be obliterated. I'm going to save Social Security. I'm not going to touch it. We're going to make our country strong, but they're going to obliterate it. She also feels extremely strongly about defund the police. She wants to defund the police. And anytime somebody wants to defund the police, you're never going to get them back to being normal. The police have to be taken care of. They're the best thing we have going to protect us. They know exactly what's going on. When we do deportation, they know every person out there, and they know the middle name, and they know everything about them, and they know all of the bad ones. They know the really bad ones. That'd be a great help. We have to get the criminals out of our country immediately. Kamala is always going to have open borders. If Comrade Harris has the chance, she will allow more than 100 million illegal aliens into our country.
Crazy. So that was Trump's trip to the border. Another potential gaffle when it comes to Secret Service. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about this situation. Like, share, subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.